I'm going to give you an example of two doctors that I've worked with over the past 12 months. And I felt like I wanted to make this video and explain to you my key learnings as their marketer. Now, why did one doctor's marketing efforts kind of fail? And why did one doctor end up scaling way over 100K a month? My name's Marco, and I've spent the last couple of years mastering the art of Google Ads for niche medical services. And I decided to make this channel and kind of document my journey and make it really easy for doctors to understand some of these complex strategies in a really easy way. So if this resonates with you, feel free to subscribe. Let's get into the video. Okay, reason number one, understanding and accepting the market conditions. So particularly both these doctors were in the US, and one thing that we discovered was ads and getting a lead to come in is actually quite expensive. When I say expensive, I mean, look, we could be paying up to $20 a click, and a lead may land at around $170 a lead. Now, while that sounds expensive from the outset, these particular doctors were selling their services from somewhere in the range of $6,500 all the way up to $11,000. Okay, so let's work out the value of these leads. Now, let's say an average ad spend would be $2,500 a month. So out of that $2,500 a month, if we say it's around $170 a lead, that's going to equal roughly 15 leads a month. Now let's say out of those 15 leads a month, we can pretty much be sure that we're going to have some form of no-show rate. Say our no-show rate's 20%. Let's just wipe 3 off immediately. That takes us down to 12 leads. Now, say those 12 leads that booked an appointment, they're coming into the clinic. Now, out of the people that come in the clinic, you're not going to close 100% of them. You might close 80, 90. I know that's certainly the experience I've had with the leads that have gone into our clinics. So let's actually just chop that number in half again. Let's just say it's 50%. So now we're talking about 6 bookings that came in and converted into a real patient. So let's work it out on the lower end of what those doctors were paying or charging for the service, $6,500. So out of that $6,500 times 6, we're at like 39K. So that's cost $2,500 in ads, and it's produced you $39,000. I mean, that ROI is just crazy. Reason number 2, pushing me as a marketer. Now, I know that sounds silly, but over the space of 12 months, one of these doctors kind of pushed me into a meeting every 2 weeks to go through the numbers, understand how the growth was happening, and actually what was moving the needle in his business. And what that actually uncovered over the space of 12 months was what was actually moving the needle. And it wasn't what we originally thought. It did have a lot to do with the Google ads and a lot to do with the way that we were marketing, but we found just this one thing that was creating a surround sound effect, which was allowing him to pick up almost 70% of the search volume within his geographical location. The second doctor, I could never get him on the phone. And in fact, it was actually so awkward to be able to get in front of him to ask for a meeting and then try and explain to him what I had done. So I think it's a big lesson looking back retrospectively, because actually, if you want to pay for a marketer to do your marketing, it's really important for you to understand what they're doing. Reason number 3, taking risks. Yep, one doctor was willing to try it. What does it actually mean, taking risks? Well, you know, you kind of have this one channel working, the clinic starts scaling, you're getting more of the right patients. Well, what then? There's other things that you can do, such as email marketing, TV advertising, updating your landing pages. And the flow-on effect that all these activities have is it actually lowers your CPA, or the cost per acquisition per lead. And as that starts to happen, you have more marketing dollars left to spend on these advertising activities. So then, what were the results over the last 12 months? Well, I can tell you one of these doctors left for a low-cost agency, which is totally fine. The other doctor went to more than 100K per month in revenue for this one medical niche, and he's still growing and looking to put on a second doctor. So when I reflect back at my time working with both of these doctors, I can really see that we've got to partner shoulder to shoulder with each client and each doctor, with each marketing person, to really build the business and to really put shoulder to shoulder activity in it. And that's what's growing the business over the long term. Okay, so before I go, thanks for sticking around to the end. Inside this video just previously, I mentioned there was this one thing that we did for this particular doctor that worked really well with scaling his clinic while using Google Ads. If you're interested in knowing what that is, just put your email in the comments below. I read all the comments and I'd be more than happy to send it to you on email.